Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Stand Up Speakeasy. My name is Sareth Ney, and this is the Secret Society of Stand Up Comics. And I'm bringing my friend all the way from Melbourne, Florida, Julian McNeill, as my guest. Hey, Julian, how are you?
I'm great. I can't complain.
Awesome. We're streaming on three different platforms: the acutiepie.com Facebook page, SrethFest Facebook page, and my personal YouTube channel. So all of our social media is on the bottom. So if you like, follow and subscribe and all that stuff, and donate to Julian's comedy career too, so he can keep traveling and doing shows and stuff. Because a lot of these shows don't pay us. So
It's all good, man. That's my honestly. I can't wait to have my own show where I can like pay comics myself. That's like my goal for like
dude,
next year
that's
maybe. It's like I don't know. It's kind of hard because it's like I don't know if I want to do that to like have a room and just like focus on like material or like try to balance both like at the same time. But I really do want like to pay people. That's like like as they say sharing the wealth. So
hell yeah, dude. It's the way to go. Because then like you have like poker chips. Because then like you can like swap shows with people and all that stuff. Because on the come up, it's really hard. If you got it like chips to bring to the table, then they'll help you out too. So
yeah,
yeah, I don't know how Jimmy did it. He had like a bunch of shows going on at once. He was like a circus juggler, so he was pretty good
yeah,
with that.
yeah. He had a lot of rooms.
Hell yeah, dude. We miss him. So he's in Austin, killing it. So it's great. Awesome. So, Julian, beginning you use ChatGPT as your to write your bio. So, what made you pick ChatGPT to write your bio?
Shit, it's less work on me.
Hell yeah, dude.
Work smarter, not harder. So
100%.
I use it at work. Like if I have a customer ask me how to which they should know, but they ask me how to look like how to do something, like I'll put it in Chat GPT and it'll do the work in like 5 seconds. Like man, like a lot of the stuff you hear in the media is so stupid. Like they talk about AI taking jobs. That's so stupid. It's really gonna make our work easier, and that's really what's gonna get us down from like 40 hours a week down to 32. It's not gonna just gonna be CEOs like, oh, I just want to give people less work. No, it's actually going to be like a technology for people that's going to like reduce like how many hours we're working. So it's a lot of garbage. It's great. I don't
Yeah,
listen to none of that crap.
for sure. And I just like saw recently like if you want to just get rid of AI, just put some water on it, and then it'll be gone.
Right.
And that's it. So, but yeah, I just saw it somewhere. I was like, that's brilliant. But let's see here. So you began your comedic voyage on November 21st, and you quickly established yourself as a Central Florida on the Central Florida comedy circuit. So like around Central Florida, like what are some of your favorite mics and rooms that you've ever done?
My favorite mics. Probably so. The first time I did stand up was actually at Fatfish. So me and my wife we went to Fatfish on a Thursday just to scope it out. It was like it wasn't a lot of people there. I remember some of the first people I saw probably were like Kevin Dean in Orlando. I might have saw like Ash Cash. Um, Carmen was hosting probably. Probably Joseph Sabella was there. Like usual suspects. So it was a light crowd. So like, all right, cool. I'll feel good coming back. Man, I went back and it was like a full house. It was probably like 60 people in there. And like I was so nervous, but I was like, I still was able to manage to get laughs too. So it wasn't like terrible. So but I don't go back to Fatfish anymore. Man, I got sidetracked. But my favorite mics are like Bull and Bush in Orlando, and definitely still Beachside Retro by Melbourne on Sundays. That's still fun. And then Mugsy's that I'm going to after this on Thursdays is a good mic. Oh, but now my favorite mic is Madcaps because Madcaps fuck with me the most. Like they're real supportive. Like they definitely want to put comedians on. So I just did Madcaps last night. I talked to Patrick. Man, Patrick looks like a lion. I can't remember his last name, but big
Sid,
pokey with lion hair.
Patrick Sid.
Yeah, yeah. I talked to Patrick. So I'm gonna host Madcaps on November 1st, and then I'm booked for like they got me booked for like December shows. But Madcaps is definitely probably my favorite mic going forward. Even it was like an hour from the house, but I don't care. So that's like the best. I feel like, and you get 5 minutes too, because Bull and Bush is so packed in Orlando. You only get 3 minutes. I've only done like 5 minutes at Bull and Bush one time, and that might have been like December of 2021. But for Bull and Bush, you're really just going for like networking. That's like really the gist of it. And shout out to Grumpy's too on Mondays. That's another good room too. Ron will let you do like 7 minutes. Um,
Dang.
yeah, I was like, hey, you want to do seven? I was like, hell yeah! I was trying to prep for a show, so that came in handy. But yeah, it's some really good mics, and it's pretty cool. Honestly, I love them.
Oh yeah, indeed, good stuff. And yeah, I love the usual mics too. And there's certain ones that I would go to and don't mind the drive, and then there's some that are just like hell rooms. I'm like, I'm not coming back here again. But either one, like good or bad, they teach you something. So
Yeah, that's true. It's not that many terrible. Well, I don't know. I feel like places that are labeled like showcases, like they really be open mics, and it's only like one place that I hate, and I don't even like to say hate, but Binks in Orlando is like the worst room because I'm not even the type of comedian that complain about rooms, but if I'm in a room and people got laptops and headphones on, why am I here?
yeah,
And it's
and
like I've seen people like judge themselves talking about they bomb. I'm like, dude, they literally have on headphones. That means you're talking to people that aren't paying attention. Why are you taking
indeed.
that personal? So that's really the only shitty place I've probably done comedy. But other than that, I'm not really complaining much about where I'm going.
I'm glad you said it because man, I ate so many. I thought I bombed because like Kermit went up before me and he said some mean things to me about me, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get you back. And then like it just sunk, and I'm like, well, I was hoping that I would get picked from Milk District because of this, but nope. It looks like I'm never gonna perform at Milk District either. So I'm like, oh well, it is what it is.
Nah, I wouldn't say that.
For sure. So I'll just pick like I'll just go my regular Bull and Bush and see Ross because he's just that's my favorite room in Orlando. Period.
Yeah, I want to do. I still haven't done shit sandwich. I just need to DM them.
Oh yeah,
I just haven't. I don't know. I'm gonna do it. Not because I don't want to, but just just other places and stuff we hit. So I'm gonna do that because I never had a bad like set at Bull and Bush either. Oh, speaking talking about mics, honestly, Bull and Bush might be the best because they pay attention. I don't know. I think it's because of how the room is designed, and you're like everybody's facing like one direction, and Ross like tells them to shut the fuck up or
yeah,
go outside. So it's like you have to pay attention, and you get a really good read on your material. That goes back to people complaining, talking about only performing in front of comics. Well, at Bull and Bush, it's 90% comics, and they're laughing. So you just suck. So just stop complaining.
indeed. I love that room. Like it's like the Nog of Orlando. It's like my favorite. That's like why I love it. And plus everyone's
Yeah.
so cool there. It's like you can just be yourself, and everyone's supportive
Mm-hmm.
from like the crowd to the comics. It's great.
Yeah.
So yeah, dude, and then you're a Georgia native. And which part of Georgia are you from?
I live in Latonia. That's like a skip outside of Stone Mountain, which got the big ass Confederate statue on it. So that's yeah. I could like see the mountain outside my mom's house if I wanted to.
Oh, jeez. So is it the one like on I-70 or not? I think it's 70, right, or 75? And
Nah, it's Highway 78 is what it's near.
okay, because I
Yeah.
like whenever I go through there and I take like I go up to Jacksonville, make a left on I-10, and then go up to Atlanta, that one
Hmm.
place, and I see that big old Confederate flag waving on the side. I'm like, good lord,
I
I am
will
not
say
getting
I will say about as far as mics, just to go back on subject, shout out to Laughing Skull too, because that's a really good mic in Atlanta. You have to like schedule, like hit them up on an email to get booked like a month in advance, and I'll like go up there for it's 4 minutes, but it's still a good room too. I've not seen it not like semi packed, maybe like one time, but it was still like 25 people in there, and that's that's more than enough.
yeah. I
So
need to do that room, and because I love seeing that skull in the background. I'm like, I have the exact same skull on my laptop, and because like I went to the Vortex Nate because
yeah,
my buddy Alex Gasparini, he's a comic up there, and he was like, I'll take you to Vortex, and because like
yeah,
Laughing Skull was closed. I'm like, all right, and man, that food was pretty good.
yeah, got good burgers. Yeah.
Yeah, buddy, and so you moved to the Sunshine State in January 2020, and so what made you move to Florida?
Just through my job, they needed like work for a software company, and a person that was on site with one of our customers was leaving, and they needed somebody to come down like as soon as possible. And most of the people I work with have kids, So they can't just uproot their whole family like that. Like, all I got is a cat and just me and my wife. So he's out this bitch. I was like, I ain't have to think twice. When they sent the email out, I responded like ASAP.
Nice.
I was like, get me the hell out of here. And I am never going back. So I refuse.
Indeed. Oh man, I wish like I love that. I felt the same way about Colorado. You know, like that was like my home for the longest. But I'm like, you know what? I want to do a show at least once a month and not deal with snow. And so that's why I'm glad I moved down to Florida. So
Yeah, I've been out to Boulder, Colorado. I loved it. It was really nice. We went up to like the Rocky Mountains and stuff. That was dope. It was like probably like an hour drive, and that was really cool.
man, the altitude gets me every time though. I'm like
Really?
coughing up a lung and everything. I'm like,
Dang,
oh,
really?
sweet Jesus.
Man, we were smoking a joint. I ain't have no problems. Dang.
Oh man, I did smoke Method Man's weed when I went to Colorado, like this past week, and so I'm wearing my High Plains Comedy Festival shirt. I did their open mic there, and but yeah, I found some Method Man weed in my hometown of Pueblo, and like my best friend and my buddy Goat from his tattoo shop, we just smoked, and I was like, my voice deepened for 25 minutes, and then I was like, all right, that's good. So it was good
Man,
times. Awesome.
you
So how long? Oh, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna ask you because you said Method Man weed. You try Jigga weed, Jay-Z weed?
No, not yet. I didn't know he had weed. That's
It's
some good stuff.
it's
Awesome. Good stuff. Good stuff. Awesome. So, what made you go into IT?
Shit, my dad, honestly. I tried to get into the military. What I try to do? I tried to get into the Air Force. I can't remember what happened. It was like I graduated high school in 2008. First thing I was going to do was the Air Force, but they were giving me the runaround for some reason. My cousin said they're the laziest. So then I tried the Marines, and then I got denied because of medical reasons because I was in a car accident when I was younger, and I broke like my collarbone. I broke my left collarbone, my left wrist, my left leg. So I got like a metal rod in my left leg. So they denied me because of that. Come to find out, I could have lied about all of that stuff. They don't even check. Like when I went to do the little health screening and all that jazz, had to do like the duck walk. They didn't even like check for none of that stuff. I could have just lied and said nothing happened. But if I would have got hurt on the job, then they would have found out. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, what is this? You like half machine. So I was like, I just gave up. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna just do what my dad does, and like rest is history.
Oh,
Honestly,
yeah,
like if you don't like, I tell people, I'm like, there's nothing wrong with copying people. Like copying like people smarter than you, that's like the easiest thing in the world to do. But people don't like to admit, they rather struggle and do it on their own instead of just copying somebody that's successful. I don't know.
right. The blueprint is like right there. It's like I don't know.
I
It
know.
is what it is.
I told my best friend that. She was like, "You copy people?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, I don't want to fucking struggle.
Yeah. It's like and it's like listening to your parents. Like they think that you're not listening to them, but you are. And then you're like,
hmm
okay, I don't want to make the same mistakes they do. So their blueprints right there, and so you just follow their steps, and you'll be just fine. And so,
Yeah.
indeed, but yeah, it's uh, it's pretty awesome you did that with your father's your dad's lead and everything like that, and like the military like told me that I couldn't join because I was too short and I wore glasses, and I was pretty chunky too still back in high school. So like I did that for
It's a height requirement. It's a roller coaster.
I guess so. So I'm like, I'm sure glad I didn't get selected. I'm just a happy journalist, so that was
Yeah,
that.
no, yeah, because my like I had uncles and they were trying to like talk me out of joining because he was like, man, you're gonna be sleeping in the mud and whatnot. But I was like, man, I just want to work. And, I was like, at the end of the day, it was better than being on the streets. I'm like, at least I was trying to do something with my life and not, it's like the military ain't the worst thing in the world. I mean, clearly, you're putting your life on the line, but it's not the worst thing in the world. Especially like looking back at it now, like the benefits, like things like I think the GI Bill that pays your house off or whatnot. I don't even know if I should say this, but my cousin get like a check for like $3,000 a month for PTSD.
Wow, that's pretty good. Not bad at all.
Only in America.
Only in America. Shout out to
Shout out to America.
yep, and give it for what's the name, Larry something with Mike Tyson. He says that only in America.
Yeah. I think Don King, only in America.
Yeah, Don King, Larry King. I thought they were
Yeah,
related.
one of them. Yeah.
Stephen King, all of them. Oh man, good stuff, good stuff. So, from the bustling tech hubs of Georgia to the vibrant stages of Central Florida, your journey blends wit, tech, and a passion of stand-up comedy. So, um, I'm glad you discovered your voice with ChatGPT. Oh man, but yeah, I love your stand-up. Um, so what was it like growing up as a comic, and stuff like that? Like your journey so far.
You mean like just how it is as being a comic so far?
Yep.
Um, how's it been so far? Um, not. I feel like the journey has been a lot of fun. I think one of the biggest things that I didn't even think about getting into it, like the connections you make with people, like the friendships you build. Wasn't even thinking about that aspect of it, and that was like I'm really grateful that for that part now. Like probably more than anything, honestly. I don't know. I don't even know why, but that's like what I think about often is like the people I've met so far. Like Jimmy was helpful. Like other people make connections with, and just meeting nice people. Y'all have like similar interests and things like that, and everybody just wants to help because it's like enough opportunities out here for everybody. So it's like you don't have to. There's nothing really to gatekeep. Like it's so much, you know. It's like for the. I feel like everybody's almost everybody, but it's been like helpful. People are helpful. They're it's more helpful than not, I would say, and just trying to navigate just getting better as a writer and as a comedian. Like I'll probably say, of course, that first time doing stand up, I remember like how fast my heart was racing and like going through my material, but definitely I didn't bomb, and I definitely had still people laugh. And I was talking to my dad actually like probably 30 minutes before we got on the phone. I was telling him like this past Friday, my show at Madcaps was probably the most comfortable I felt on stage. And it's like sports, how like they say like a rookie quarterback, the game is fast, but after a while it starts to slow down. So now this is probably like the slowest it's felt for me. Like each show, I could feel it just slowing down more and more and more. So like I know like I'm nowhere near I was like a year ago. So I'm just excited to see where I'll be like 5 years from now.
Indeed. It's a joyride for sure. Like it's gonna be highs and lows, but that's what life's all about too. So,
Yeah.
and I'm saying yourself and and people in Jacksonville or Orlando, Melbourne, Daytona. It's like some like when you get older, you struggle to make friends, but then like you find friends in the most unexpected places and
Right.
stand up. So it's
Yeah.
totally awesome.
Yeah.
Indeed. So amidst the zeros and ones of the day job, a comedic rhythm was building. So I loved how you used those ones and zeros, and I was gonna major in computer science, and but I was like, you know what? I just my dad thought I could do that stuff, and I'm like, I can only put really good PowerPoints together. It's totally different animals.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
Yep. So but yeah, we got a viewer in the audience. If you want to interact with the chat and ask us something, just be nice to us, will you? We like comics. Indeed, good stuff. So thanks for joining us, by the way. So by night, you transform from an IT professional to stand-up sensation and paying their tales of observations with humor resonating with audiences far and wide. That GPT is something else, man. They're like a better writer than most of these authors out here.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why they went on Shark.
Indeed. Oh my gosh. I can't. I mean, and that's why, like, I don't know. I like, it's sad. Like every art form, we don't get paid that well, and we should. You know what I mean? But it
Yeah.
is what it is. Like when I was a journalist, I got paid $80 a year.
Damn.
I know, horrible, right? $80, but it was like all the free concerts that I can go to. So it evened out. At least there was a trade off. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow. You said $80 a year?
yeah, $80 a year.
Jeez.
Yep. I know. It was in LA too, so that's why I had like to get like 4 gigs to keep my boat afloat. Would you ever
Yeah.
move out to LA or like, any of those other big cities to pursue stand up?
Yeah. It's more than likely, honestly. I've lived in New York before for like 6 months, in Brooklyn. I honestly, if I wasn't living in Florida, even though New York is expensive as hell, I would move back. Like I might like even though like I might not agree with like certain like how they handle like the citizens with like laws and how they treat the citizens or whatnot, like overtax them to death. Just the cost of living, but it's really a unique place. It's really one of a kind. I feel like I would move to New York before I would move to Cali, even though the weather in New York, is so cold. But I would definitely move to New York before California. Even though the West Coast is a cheat code, how they're like 3 hours behind. Man, when I went to a Lakers game and we got out of the game by like 10 o'clock. I was like, man, I feel good because on the East Coast it would have been like. So I was like, man, this is great. I'll just move out here to watch the Lakers and have the rest of my day and sports and stuff. But yeah, I'm sure. Oh shoot, the first time like I booked myself for like chocolate Sunday.
Uh-huh.
So for like 3 years from now, so that'll be like a cool experience. So I'll be on their way, and I have like some friends and stuff that I've met like online with like comedy stuff. So I like to like partner with them on in LA and stuff. And then Austin is like the biggest thing right now. But that's I wouldn't want to do that until like maybe 5-6 years from now because I don't want to be like seen too soon. Like I'd rather wait till I'm more seasoned to want to like make that type of leap because I don't want to burn out quick like that, and I just rather wait and then like capitalize. Because a lot of people are moving from our central network to move out to Austin and stuff, so that just create more opportunities for us to take advantage here. And as Macho Randy and Savage said, the cream shall rise to the top. So
Absolutely, dude. I love old wrestling. Like who are your Mount Rushmore of wrestlers? Like you can pick one from each company. How about that? It makes it easier.
Shoot, I'll say I say like the Rock and Stone Cold. Like you remember that WrestleMania Rock versus Stone Cold, bruh? That's a classic. And that theme song they had with Linkin Park, My Way, that's the best. That's still the greatest wrestling promo. The Rock versus Stone Cold. I still go on YouTube and you'll see like comments from like a week or a month ago of like, this is the greatest wrestling promo of all time. Like that was, I don't know what that was with him, but that was, man. I might go online and watch that tonight. Honestly, I'm gonna check it out. They're like the Rock and Stone Cold, my goats, and I don't know. Like they try to say Cena up there, but I don't think Cena up there like that. Personally, for me, like Cena got the charisma, but maybe because I'm just from the WWE Raw Attitude era, but I don't think we've seen like they didn't think somebody will top Hulk Hogan, and then The Rock and Stone Cold came and topped him. So I mean, it might happen one day. And they said the numbers now like it's getting bigger, like the pay-per-views and whatnot, because they switched to more of a family oriented, which families got money. That's really all it is.
Yep.
So who? What about you though? Who's your favorite?
From I'll pick one from each that I grew up on. Like and we got you're popular, dude. Like more people are chiming in into watching this. So
well, you know what I'm saying. I do plan to be a star in a couple of years.
Indeed. I'd go with Sabu from ECW is my favorite. The reason why I don't think that Cena's in your Rushmore is because how can someone be up there when you can't even see him? You know what I mean?
I hate you. Oh my god, man! I can't believe you got me with that shit, man. I can't believe you got me with that, man.
I know.
I'll be on the internet, like I'll be on Twitter, and somebody Cena will be taking a picture, and they be like, "How can you see him?"
Indeed, I've been asking him like, it doesn't matter what you think's on your Rushmore.
Oh, I did. Like I follow this wrestling page. They'll show like old clips. One of the most underrated wrestlers, Slick, was Shane.
Oh,
Shane got busy, bro. This is a clip where Shane would do the and just dive like 50 feet like from the top of the like stage shit. Like the stage setup. Shane got busy in them hardcore matches. Like I fuck with Shane. Shane was like, I'm like, bro, for the boss's son, he was ready to put his life on the line. Because Shane could have just been like, all right, my daddy a billionaire. I ain't got to do shit. I ain't got to put my life on the line. But Shane was like in the trenches, bro. We got to, like, how they say so-and-so underrated. Shane Slick is underrated. Like, he was in the streets for real with them. Like, he didn't have to be in the trenches, and he was in the trenches. Unless Vince just put his ass to work. I don't know. But
indeed.
Shane was in these streets.
When like Kurt Angle tried to break him through the glass with the King of the Ring on stage, and he couldn't break through the first time, and then you still threw him in there for the second time. I'm like, good lord, dude, like
Oh,
that's
you
wild.
and them TLC matches. Me and my wife was watching them TLC matches. Dog, them shits is classic, man. You went Edge and Christian, the Dudley Boys, and the Hardy Boys. Oh my god, them TLC matches like still some of like the best entertainment I've seen from. Man,
They're wild. And they're still
yeah,
going at it. Like, Team 3D got together at the Impact 1000 show, and like
yeah,
Hardys are going at it, and Christian's still going at it. Edge probably might go to AEW. Who knows? But it's just like, because he just retired from the WWE or something, but he had
okay,
his last match in Canada, so it's pretty wild. But yeah, I'd go with like Sabu as my number one, Sting as my number two for WCW. I'd go with Undertaker for WWE, and then I
yeah.
would go with AEW. Like I'd probably put like, gosh, this is a tough one, but I love Orange Cassidy for some reason because he's like the sloth, and I'm slow too, so I'm like I'll probably put those four in there. So
Yeah,
yep, I think that's a pretty fair amount. I watched Impact too, and I'd probably put like Abyss if there was like a fifth spot for Mount Rushmore. So those are
that's
my
cool.
faves. Yeah. Awesome. So, the digital world, you do the 9 to 5, the dreams to turn your microphone into the full-time gig. And so, like, where do you see, like on your journey, like, what's like the pinnacle, the cream, the rising to the top of comedy? It's like, what's the top tier that you want to reach?
You mean like as far as like status and what's that
Mhm.
career was? Shoot, I guess just being able to like tour, and go around the country and just make it my job. Honestly, that's kind of like my end game with this is just do this full time. Like I didn't realize I would love this so much. Like, and then when I thought about my childhood, like I used to watch Comic View as a kid, like at night. I love Comic View. My mom let me watch Kings of Comedy, the movie when they were in Charlotte.
Yep.
And man, when I saw a Bernie Mac set, that like changed my life. Like when I saw Bernie Mac, that was honestly the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. And everybody knew why he went last because he was like he killed it. And we just watched it like a week ago. Man, and we laughed at it like it was just brand new. Like it still holds up to this day.
100%. And
Yeah.
like
So
I was a
yeah.
huge fan of Comic View too, like seeing like Bruce and stuff on there, and
Mm-hmm.
all those guys, Ricky Smiley. It's like, man, I
Yeah.
would record all those episodes, and then like, my cousin didn't have cable, and I was supposed to record some episodes for him, and I'm like, oh, I forgot, but I'm just gonna watch this all for myself. So,
Yeah.
oh man,
Yeah.
good times.
I always thought comedians are like some of the coolest people in the planet, like on the planet. And I don't know what it was like comedians on stage. This is something. It's like some type of mystique. I feel like that they had, and it's really cool. And I didn't think getting into this that was something I would like just fully just. I didn't think I would love it this much, and it's like the only thing I think about now.
It's a pretty cool gig, and there's like other ways to make money off stand up too, like while you're like I was like interviewing Five Finger Death Punch one time at the Whiskey a Go Go, and they go, Rob Zombie taught us this one thing. It's like you make the majority of your money while you're off stage and not while you're on stage. And I'm like, huh, that makes sense. It's like you're selling merch too, or like your assistant selling your merch, and like all that stuff. Like you can like make money by photographing like what you do, from the comics, or like filming them, because I know your camera films people too. So it's like when Rudy was here, he would like pay me to record him and like just cover my gas too. It's like, man, I miss him. Like he's like the only one that
Yeah,
paid me. So
I know. I was thinking about Rudy the other day. I was like wondering how he's doing. I'm gonna hit him up.
yeah, for sure. And man, that's like my ultimate dream too. Is like just to like well, I could promise my dad like once he leaves the earth, I'll get a van because he doesn't want me to do it now. Um, but just to get a van and just go on tour and like trick it out, and then just do like go on tour and do stand up all over the place. That's like my ultimate dream too.
Yeah, I want to get a Prius because I'm just tired of putting gas in my car. Like after driving to like an hour, to the club and to an hour back, and I'm already at half a tank. Like I was talking to Miles Neff, another comic. He's from Tampa, and like he got a Prius just because of this. And like if I was doing stand up years before, I got another car a couple years ago, I would have definitely got a Prius. So that gas, I want to eliminate that as a bill as soon as possible.
Indeed. My buddy Rena Calm lived out of her Prius when she was on tour. Like how many like gallons of gas or like or mileage can you get on like a full tank out of a Prius?
um, it's like 50 miles per gallon, but I can tell you this: the best example is me and my dad. We drove from Georgia to North Carolina to pick up my nieces. It's a 6 hour drive, so basically we did 12 hours of driving in one day, half a tank.
Wow. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, maybe I should get a Prius then.
yeah,
Dude, because
that's the move.
I have like a Honda Accord LX 4 cylinder, and like my full like I get a full tank like 700 miles. I drove from like my house to Mobile, Alabama to do their comedy festival, and still had 100 miles left over on a tank. So I'm like, maybe I should just switch to a Prius. I don't care if it looks
Yeah,
like RTD2, as long as it saves me a lot of gas. I'm gonna get it. So
of course the newest ones look the coolest. I was on a Toyota website; they look really nice. They got these are the best Prius they've ever made. Of course, it's the latest and greatest one, but you know how that
hmm,
goes.
definitely have to look at it, check it out for sure. So
Hmm.
you're performing at the upcoming Sareth Fest coming up, and man, I'm so happy to like I'm so happy you're performing because like I picked the best comics that I've seen out there grinding like every year for the fest, and like we had like a bunch of like Melbourne alumni, and you're adding to the list. And so what are you anticipating about the festival coming up?
Well, I wish I could have got up to Nog before the festival. But I know that the mic starts late, and I get up for work like super early in the morning, so I just never got the opportunity yet to go up there. So um, I will say another comedian, Sage here in Melbourne, she told me that there was a woman heckling the comics, and then people poured beer on her, and she left.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I am expecting to see some crazy stuff.
Yeah, man, I felt bad for Andre. That he was
Oh,
so
you was there?
upset. Yeah, he because he's the one that it happened to. Because like I don't know, he got so mad at the lady, and then it was just we'll talk about it out often.
All right.
It was so great. I'm like 3 weeks in a row. It was like somebody heckling before the show even starts. And I'm like, you know what? If you gotta lose it, lose it. Cause like I had to deal with like a lady heckler there, and like the staff made sure that I left because I was doing like my one man show dress rehearsal there, and they made sure I left before the staff tore a new one. And I'm like, thank God you didn't let me see it because it would have been like, they got my back 100%. They got, you know, Andre. They got that's what I love about the Nog is like it's our family, and like if they see people doing us wrong, they'll like get them. So it's like it's great. Like you don't mess with the Nog or Daytona Comics. Like we're
Uh-oh.
crazy. We're crazy for a reason. So
Oh man.
indeed, but it's gonna be a lot of fun. But like like when they're rocking with you, they are rocking with you. Like that's why I love being so dirty. It's like they're like everything like the whole room goes silent. And like one time I brought like all these sex toys on stage and gave them to like Andre and Kevin and everything. And like Blake Butler came around from playing pool. He goes, "What the heck's going on here?" And it's on my special too. And it's
Yeah.
like it's just the most wildest like time ever. But we go crazy at the
Oh
Knots.
man,
It's
that's gonna be
so fun.
crazy.
Oh man. So so yeah, you have a witness like a blend of tech quips and everyday hilarity that only you can deliver. And that's why like I love watching you perform stand up. Like I was like pretty much there for almost the beginning, I think. And like to see you evolve, it's just like amazing. You doing shows everywhere now. It's like, man, you've come a long way. And that's why I chose you and like Matt Glidden and like a bunch of others from Melbourne this year. And I just love the Melbourne scene. It's just awesome. Like I was talking to Brian yesterday. It's like, and we're like small, close knit families in our both of our scenes, and like we we just complement each other pretty well. Like whenever we go down there, you guys come up here. It's like all love and family. It's just the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. So for this next portion, is it's like the usual questions that I ask everyone that's on my YouTube channel. There's like 1,000 comedian interviews, so these are the questions I ask everyone. So, Julian, what inspired you to perform stand-up comedy?
What inspired me is just being a big fan of the art. Honestly, my favorite comedians are George Carlin and Dave Chappelle. So those are kind of like the two I inspire to be the most. Honestly, I'd probably say Carlin and his outlook on the world is definitely someone I probably agree with the most out of probably most comedians. And my third would be actually Bill Maher. So like those three, and Bernie Mac, of course. Like Bernie, Chappelle, Bill Maher, and Carlin are like kind of like my goats and like the people who I try to like not emulate, but like I think for me, I don't know if I'm skipping questions, but like I think for me is like I know comedians or watch a lot of stand up. But for me, it's the opposite. Like, because I've heard comedians say they watch stand up and then they'll have people tell them that they sound like so and so. And that's kind of like what I want to avoid. So it's like I don't watch it like super, like a lot. But I have like my favorites that every now and then I'll like listen to their stuff and like that. So, like watching a lot enough stand up, and I was like, I like talking in front of people, like being just coming up from customer service. You know how you have to be in front of folks. So and even when I was a kid, like I was in band, used to like I remember my earliest memory of like performing in front of people was at my daycare. We had to do like this African recital dance, and I just remember like feeling so carefree, being 5 years old and dancing just like my friends and not having a care in the world. So I just think, and also just being the center of attention. That's I think that's really might be the bulk of it.
Indeed, what a great combination of comics. Because like I put Carlin up there, and Chappelle and Pryor and Murphy.
hmm
They're all like my heroes, and Martin Lawrence. It's just all these people that are just my inspirations. And so
Yeah.
we talked about it earlier. But well, for everyone that's joining in, like what was feeling like when you first performed stand up?
Man, that was my heart was beating so fast. I would have thought I did cocaine. It was. I've never felt. I probably never felt that nervous in my life, maybe, but I was still. I knew it was something that I could do, and like they say, unfortunately, when you see somebody go up there and struggle, honestly, I'm skipping a memory. So when I lived in Atlanta, I had a friend that did high school. He not did high school. Somebody I was in high school with. Um, I saw him at Laughing Skull. He sent the link out, inviting people to come to a show. So we went to a show. I watched him go up, and he bombed. I'm talking, he didn't get any laughs for 4 minutes. And I was like, if he can stand up there and not get laughs for 4 minutes, I can do it. And I did it. So I was like, that's not that bad. So
Indeed, man, it's rough. Like, what's your worst bombing story?
probably at Moon Room. Like Jimmy Moynihan had his first like paid show at Moon Room on a Thursday, and so I probably got like in 5 minutes like two laughs.
Oh,
Um, I know, but I guess the crazy thing is like you learn more from when you bomb
yeah.
versus like when you have a good show, and so like I still use that video, and I have like a mentor, like a community mentor. Her name's Gayla Johnson, and so we'll watch like sometimes we'll watch my videos and we'll like go over them, and a tip that she gave me was that there was one person in the crowd that was fucking with me out of like the people that were there, and she was like, I should have used him as like someone to like bounce off of and not like shy away from that, and just like you know that was yeah. I don't get too other info, but that was the worst. That was definitely the worst.
Indeed, man, my worst bomb was like happening at the Nog on my birthday,
Oh
and
damn.
yeah, like my homeroom. It's like, and like it was like my birthday show, and it was like the flyer was like being John Malkovich. So like the theme was like all the comics that recite one of my favorite jokes, or my the joke that I did or that I do, and like I was dressed as Wu Manchu, and totally went into like Wu Manchu material instead of like picking up my favorite joke. And it was like on my birthday, and I brought like a red velvet cake that was like $40, and nobody ate it. And then I brought
Damn.
a bunch of ding dongs. I brought a bunch of ding dongs, and like they ate those. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should just bring ding dongs for like for my birthday. And but it was a horrible feeling to like bomb on my birthday. And then
Damn.
I went out of my material and just sang happy birthday to myself on stage. It was bad. Oh man, good stuff. And so we talked about like your favorite comedy specials. You know, being like like uh, a Kings of Comedy and like Comic View earlier. And so, like, what are some of your other favorite comedy specials and comedy records?
Um, I'd probably say within the last couple years, like Chappelle specials, I still enjoy a lot. I'm going to see him live on November 2nd. He's going to be in Orlando. This will be my first time going to see him live, so that'll be a cool experience. And then I know, fortunately, this sounds controversial, but I still fuck with Cat Williams. I don't care what nobody say. He's still funny to me. Like I don't care what people talking about. Like the people y'all be posting, they not funnier than Cat. I'm sorry. So I still fuck with Cat. And obviously, people still fuck with Cat too if he's selling out arenas and shit. So clearly, some people find him funny. Just say you don't find him funny. Like that's the one thing I fucking hate. Like when people be like, so and so not funny. Just say you don't find them funny, because clearly somebody finds him funny. This man is selling out thousands of tickets, hundreds of like thousands of tickets a year. Somebody finds him funny. You don't find him funny. Like I don't like Tupac. That doesn't mean Tupac can't rap.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
I'm not the biggest Tupac fan in the world, but I'm not gonna say Tupac suck and he can't rap. When the man has clearly sold 30 million albums, come on, like people just haters. That's all that shit is, man.
That's
Can't
for
stand
sure.
that.
Same here. Comedy is subjective for sure.
Thank you. It's subjective. Just say you don't like him and shut up. That is it. That's all you gotta do, bro.
Yep. And keep
That
it
is it,
moving.
man.
Yeah.
Keep it moving. Just keep it moving. Like it's so corny to me. Like he's not funny no more like he used to. Well, clearly some people think he's still funny. So shut the hell up. Like,
Right. And he did like his special in Jacksonville, and like he was on point with all their neighborhoods up there. So
he did his research. That's good.
yep, he did his research. And like I had an interesting run in with Cat Williams when I was living in LA. I went to the Method Man, Redman, and Ghostface show, and like the merch guys loved me that they gave me a VIP bracelet to go upstairs to the balcony and just like watch the show from the front, like up there. And then out of nowhere, like Cat Williams just walks up and just sits at his table, and like he's just bouncing side to side, mean mugging, like enjoying the show. And then he tosses money off the balcony, and he pours Dom Perignon for everyone. And he was like offering me some Dom Perignon. I'm like, dude, I don't even drink, dude. And he goes, all right, no worries. And he just kept it going. I'm like, this is like the coolest Cat Williams experience ever.
And people say the same about Dave too. Like I'll be on Twitter, Dave will drop a special. I'm at work, I'm just on Twitter seeing people like, hey, this ain't funny. This ain't funny at all, man. This is terrible. First 5 minutes, I'm laughing my ass off. I'm like, man, I don't listen to nobody, man. I'm all right, bro.
Right.
I don't care.
Man, till this day, like I still quote Chappelle's show, like quotes. Like Sean Murphy said that I had dolphin teeth. And I'm like, just like Diddy, and I'm like,
Yeah.
like, and then I said, like, you know what? I lactate, so if you want 100% Cambodian breast milk, I got some for you. And like,
All right.
we were just sort of going crazy. So, oh man, never ends. Like that show's been off the air for almost 20 years, and we still quote it. It's like
I know it's one of the best. Like if we're talking like skit shows, I probably say Chappelle Show, and Living Color and Mad TV are like my top 3.
oh yeah, excellent choices.
Yeah, Saturday Night Live fell off like a long time. I probably watch Saturday Night Live like once a year now.
Yeah,
like once or twice a year at the most. But in Living Color, I wish they had In Living Color on streaming, man. I got like a DVD set at my mom's house. I gotta find it, but man, like the Waynes, they're my goats for real. Like the Living Color was so crazy, man. It was ahead of its time. Or maybe it wasn't. Maybe it came out when it needed to.
I agree 100%. It's like that's like I would quote like the Dirty Dozens all the time and just like talk about people's moms. Like people would swarm my table, and like I take on two people at the same time. It's just it's like Fire Marshal Bill, all that is just like fantastic.
Yeah,
So that was like my
yeah.
next question too. Like, what are your you mentioned your favorite TV shows and sketches. Like, what's your favorite sitcoms and comedy films?
Um, man, honestly, the Bernie Mac show is my favorite like family's like sitcom. I probably watched Bernie Mac show like maybe 3 to 4 times.
Wow.
That's yeah, and it's like man, his special was so good, or not the special, but his set was so legendary that it got him a TV show. Like that says it right there, like how great he was. And then like the show even spoke for itself. Like the cast was perfect. Like everything about the Bernie Mac show was damn near flawless, except like the last season because you could see like his health. He started to get like maybe a little bit his health started to go down a little bit, but that them first seasons like the Bernie Mac show was like it's spot on. It's some of the best. Like I think it was like up there. I'm trying to think of movies, man. I'm gonna have to Google this shit because I think of something funny enough. Like I think of movies. Bridesmaids was funny as hell. If I'm thinking, I gotta think like recently. Like Bridesmaids was hilarious. But if I'm going, okay, now that I'm going back thinking about it, Hollywood Shuffle is a fucking classic. That I even put my wife on a Hollywood Shuffle because she's never seen it. And Hollywood Shuffle was so hilarious. I'm talking about the Waynes, you had Robert Townsend. Man, Robert Townsend made Hollywood Shuffle like $20,000 with a credit card debt, and he had to like illegally film it like in the streets and stuff because they didn't have the permits and whatnot. And that was I got that on DVD, and that's probably like one of my favorite comedies, of course. Of course, like Coming to America. Eddie Murphy was a goat. Life was funny as hell. My mom took me to see Life when I was like 9 years old. This is really like my mom's fault because she was letting me watch like all rated R stuff when I was like in elementary school, like stuff I shouldn't have been watching. So this is like the things that I was listening to and watching, like that inspired me. Like Sanford and Son. Sanford and Son was funny as hell. So like this is kind of like my childhood was like building me up to like this point and like to this. And I look back in life and see like the things that I watched. Like the people that I've watched and enjoyed, I was like, damn, now it makes sense like why I'm doing this because I like genuinely enjoy this stuff, like entertaining people. Like that's the thing when I know I'm jumping subjects like Kanye, but like when comedians are like bombing or stuff like that, I'm like the customers didn't come to see you do your material; they came for you to entertain them. That's what people gotta realize. It's like I was talking to a comedian yesterday, and he was saying like he didn't want to keep doing crowd work. He wanted to keep doing his material. But I'm like, dude, they're not laughing at your material. They're laughing at you entertaining them doing crowd work. They don't know that you're doing your material. They just came to be entertained. They don't know what you're about to do. They just want to be entertained. That's all it is. So I'm like, I think people overthink it sometimes.
100%, 100%. And man, it's I sometimes you gotta switch your gears while you're on stage. Sometimes your material doesn't work, and you gotta think of something.
You gotta pivot.
Yep, yep. And man, I need to work on my crowd work. Sometimes I just like let them bounce off me like ping pong balls. I'm like, yeah, but I'll agree with you with your heckles. It's like,
Yeah, it's when I was at Madcaps last weekend, man. So we ended up opening late because they forgot the keys to open the club up. And so those people were getting stupid drunk because the liquor store, right next to Madcap. So they was like drinking for like another hour, talking, just throwing back shots. And man, by the time they came in there, they was like ready, like
wow.
super ready. So literally the first like couple minutes of my set was just crowd work, just messed like it's kind of like we built a relationship before I got on stage because I went to like go talk to them and stuff before. So that's kind of like a cheat code is like messing with the audience before even going up because you already established a relationship with them and they already, kind of like you. So by the time I got up there, they already like knew who I was and it was like game over at that point. It didn't work at all.
Hell yeah, dude. Man, I love how you use that to your advantage. That's great stuff. And so, let's see here. If you can go on tour with any comedian locally and internationally known, which comedians would you like to go on tour with?
I'm gonna tour with any local comedian. Trying to think of like some of my favorite people now. Dude, C. Dillard is hilarious. From Orlando. Me and him was on the show at Madcap. C is funny as hell. He was at the open mic yesterday at Madcap, and he probably had to that point until I left. He probably had like the best set at the open mic. Again, performing in front of comedians, still making comedians laugh because, hey, we're people too. I don't know how people don't think we count, but making us laugh. And I'm talking about he brought the house down at an open mic. So, like, that's like the first person I thought of. Of course, Jimmy was cool. Jimmy Moynihan, Rudy Malumbo. That's another person. There's some cool people. I'm thinking like Jari Knows out in Orlando is another one. Sean Madden is cool. I like Sean. Austin out in Orlando is funny as hell too. I'm gonna go right up to because Jari actually has a show at Madcaps October 8th. Look at this. I'm promoting for his ass. He got a show. He got a show at Madcaps on October 8th. I'm gonna slide up there and like take pictures of it because he got like Sean and Austin. So those are some funny guys. I like them. Like they speak when we in person and whatnot. So I'm gonna go support them. So it's like those are the people I like to. And Anthony Papali is another guy that's in the Melbourne scene. Anthony's funny as hell.
Yeah.
Some those some of the folks.
Those are some great. That's a great like two right there, dude. That's like the Central Florida Kings of Comedy right there.
Right. I know.
Oh man, good stuff. And yeah, but a lot of those guys are like been on my festival or gonna be on my festival coming up. So it's like it's just you got a great lineup you got there. If you can get roasted by 5 comedians, a top 5 dead or alive, which comedians would they to get roasted by?
You said top 5 to get roasted by?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hell, I guess it would have to be I'll probably say Tony Hinchcliffe, of course. David Lucas, that's another one. He's like funny. It's funny because when I was starting to get into stand-up, David Lucas was one of the like newer comics. I started like deep dive and watch. I probably watched like all of his stuff on YouTube. So I'd probably say him. Probably say Cat. I seen Cat roast the hell out of another comedian on a live interview in Atlanta. He damn near like had her on suicide watch. That was crazy.
I saw that one too.
Yeah, that was legendary, man. The whole city was talking about it. I was like, damn. He was like, Wanda, what's your favorite meal to cook? She was like, broccoli. He was like broccoli. He was like that. I didn't know meals, broccoli. You're like, what's your favorite recipe to cook? Broccoli, bro. How you cook broccoli?
Oh man.
Now, I'm trying to think of like 2 others, but it's like I'm not that well diverse in like roasting comedians, but I know like David Lucas and Tony is like 2 of the top. So I'm doing like the Cat. People not even count, but those are like the 3 that like come to my head the first that I think about.
Cool. How about 2 local ones? Because they know you're the best.
Yeah. I've had to think of local. Who did I see at the roast? I've been to like a couple roasts. Oh, fucking Donald Evans.
He was annihilating everyone, and like Brian said, like he'd also have Mark Andrews as one of his roasters because they didn't expect him to be so ruthless as being a nice guy.
Yeah, it always throws me back when Mark cusses. That takes me back. I'd be like, so it definitely takes me back. And Chris Robinson's pretty good too.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah,
indeed. Man, I just listened to the Funny Style podcast.
Yeah, I did too. I was
listening to Brian. I'm like, good Lord, this is juicy. I had to. I'm like, all right, I'm tuning in because it just exploded in the Orlando scene. I'm like, man, usually like Daytona Comics, we handle our stuff in like Daytona, and like they just went in for it. I was like, oh gosh, here comes a dumpster fire.
It's like I don't get secondhand embarrassment, but I was pretty close. I was almost had secondhand embarrassment reading that thread, but it's all good.
It's all good for sure. Man, it happens. What else? There's which other forms of comedy would you like to venture off into, like sketch, improv, theater, writing, etc.?
I do want to write. Like it's funny. Even my dad didn't notice that Paul Mooney was like a big writer for like something like Richard Pryor, Dave Chappelle. Like Paul Mooney was like the voice behind a lot of these guys, and I'm like, I can like when I'm listening to other comedians, I'm like listening to their voice and like thinking of like material and stuff. there's even like this comedian, her name's Selena. She just started out. She's crazy as fuck. Like she don't have like any filter, and that's what I like because I can like see like just thinking of like all type of batshit crazy stuff to write for her.
Yeah.
So like writing is definitely an avenue. Um, Maybe in sitcoms somebody could write for me at that point. I do honestly, I feel like stand up is a cheat code to get into acting. Honestly, that is part of my goal is to like venture off into acting. Like I think acting is like one of the coolest professions on the planet because you can just be anything you want to be and get paid for it. Like anything, especially with the technology now, man, you can play somebody from hundreds of years ago with CGI and stuff like that. So I think acting is like one of the coolest professions in the world. So that's kind of like my end game with this is to still do stand up, of course, but I'll definitely get into acting.
Indeed. I did like 5 short films, and like the first one I won an award for, and like they go, that was like an Oscar-worthy performance. Let's get a sequel. And I'm like, all right, sounds good. But it's one of those bad movies that's good, you know.
Yeah.
And we won the award for best film to watch while stoned, so it's good. So you can smoke
Yeah.
some Jay-Z weed and watch that
You jiggle weed.
show. Oh man, good stuff. Indeed, I will smoke my Method Man weed. But
Yeah, I gotta try
let's
that
see
out.
here. Oh, it's really good. Oh man, it went down smooth, and I'm like my voice deepened for 25 minutes. Like time slowed down, and I was like in my zone at the open mic and at the Vultures in Colorado Springs. I'm like, oh man, this is good stuff. So,
Yeah.
oh man, I'm not saying that because I love Wu Tang, but I'm like whatever they have. I mean, Ghostface Killer has coffee. Like just all these guys, it's like they're just like entrepreneurs on the side. They got some side hustles, so I'm gonna support each one.
That's cool. I just invest in weed stocks. That's about the most I can do. I
Hell
try to
yeah, dude.
take
Get
advantage somewhere.
get that Ric Flair weed, you know. We got that. Woo. So,
Cool.
yeah. Oh man, they should collaborate, Wu Tang and Ric Flair. But
I seen
um
Ric Flair at a Falcons game. A friend had like VIP seats, like VIP section or whatever, and Ric Flair was on there taking pictures of people.
for sure. Did you see him on Kill Tony this past week?
No, I gotta watch that episode.
Woo.
Shout out to Cam too. That's another funny guy that left Orlando to go to Austin. Cam was like one of the first. Cam, man, it was so obvious to know that Cam Patterson was gonna like. That was like when I first started doing stand up in the central area of Florida. I was like, yeah, Cam is like easily gonna like take off, and that's I wasn't surprised in the slightest to see him blow up like that.
He's gonna take off like the Migos.
Right.
But man, I told him like, dude, like I was so fortunate to have him on my festival this past like before he left, and like he did like a story with him and David Jolly, and it was just like the coolest 10 minutes. But like my camera kept on stopping, and I'm like, fudge, this
Damn.
like. But I got most of the good stuff. But man, and I told him like when he's moving out there, he's gonna make it big. I just knew it, and we all knew it. It's like he's a good soul, and he deserves all the wins.
Yeah.
Um, and so, where do you see your comedy journey in the next 5 years?
Um. Next five. Shoot. So I'm in year two. 5 years from now, we'll make year seven. I'm hoping to be at that point, like I say, like established headliner. People feel confident. I can hit different states or hit different spots, and my name is like the big face on a poster. And I think I'll be there. Honestly, I don't think it'll. I see that for myself, and I just feel confident that that'll happen. So just keep grinding and keep getting better. I just like I use it's I like a what I like is we can use ourselves as like a measurement, like just looking at past videos of ourselves. Like my first time on stage is nothing like my last time on stage. It's like it's polar opposite. So I don't see why I should be better, at the rate that I'm going for myself. As long as I stay consistent and not fall off or I don't take it serious and I just stop going to mics. Because it's like I know people who are 2 years in and they're already talking about like, oh, I don't feel like going to this mic or feel like they're too good already to like go to a mic. I'm like, bro, you are 2 years in. If you don't get the hell out of here, like, I'm like, all right, bro. So I'm like, it's people that's been this 10 years so hitting mics, and you think you too good? I'm like,
Right.
all right. So we'll see how that goes.
At this stage of my journal, I love mics more than shows because like there's no stress, involved, and like you're still not getting paid. So it's like, why be on a show when you're not getting paid? It's the same thing. It's like,
Yes, that's interesting because sometimes I be feeling more stressed at mics.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
I feel like, I guess because it's like sometimes like at a showcase, especially when people pay for it, I feel like those are the people that's really there for at the most that's coming to like really get a laugh because they paid, they want to get their money's worth and have a good time. So sometimes I feel like my most free is at like at a shows and I don't know. Maybe it's like 60-40 like
yeah.
for me.
Indeed. I just don't like shows that charge at the door and don't pay their comics. I will never do a show. I'm like, I heard horror stories. And there's rooms like that around. I'm like, I'm not booking them for my festival. Like, unless they change their ways, no way.
Yeah, I respect that. I definitely respect that. I've even had those thoughts sometimes, so I
Yeah.
get it. Like, damn. But I guess it's like a trade off because it's like, well, if you're not gonna pay me, what type of service are you providing? Like, am I getting like a tape? Am I getting like footage of it for free? Got to be something of like value that we're exchanging. Goods that we're exchanging for my time. And if you're gonna be making a profit, at least something, handshake or something. Oh, that
Yeah.
was $1.
Indeed. That's why, like, I worked something out with a Nog where, like, I get to take care of everyone that's performing, because I want to make sure that I'm not building a taller fence. I'm building a longer table, and I'm gonna take care of all you guys. So the Nog's gonna take care of all you guys. It's gonna be amazing,
That's
amazing
good.
time. And so, three more questions for you, and then we'll wrap it up because we're like at the hour mark, and I want to respect your time and all that stuff. So, the next question would be like, what's your favorite joke a comic has ever written?
Hell, I guess going back to the Bernie Mac, that milk and cookies bit, that shit had me crying. Like when he was talking about his nephew Jordan, um, come on, we want some milk and cookies, and then when he went to go ask the little niece about where Jordan was at, she was like, him downstairs,
Yeah.
him downstairs.
Good stuff.
That yeah,
I
I
love
love
Bernie
that bit.
Mac.
Yeah, that
Man.
bit is classic. Like then he's talking about some man. It's like his facial expressions when he was mocking her when she was looking up at him like this. He was like, "What you trying to do? You trying to fight?"
Yeah,
He's like, "Bust a move." He's about to knock her little ass out.
indeed.
Yeah, that's
Awesome.
definitely my favorite bit.
Good stuff. And then what experience would you like your audience to take with them after a set is over?
I feel like the experience. It's funny. Judd Jones, I think it might be Judd last name. He used to have a show, and he called me like the professor, and bringing up the word like teaching or always like bringing up something that people haven't heard about. I feel like my thing is like I like to talk about things that people don't know about, and like something they can take away that they learned something new. Some type of information that maybe they might be able to use, or just something that they've never heard before. That's kind of like my thing. Is just like I just want to be different and like just stand out as much as I can, and they can walk away. Even somebody reinforced that at Mad Caps a couple weeks ago, like a month ago. The woman walked up to me and told me like that was really fresh, like something that she haven't heard before. So that's kind of like my biggest thing that people can take away.
100%. And so this is the stand-up speakeasy where it's a secret society of stand-up comics, and you got to be nominated to like be welcomed into the show, and so I can interview them in the future. So which five comics would you like to see on a future episode of the stand-up speakeasy?
Uh, shoot. Let me see. Just thinking about people that I know. Like C was one of them I talked about. Like C, I think Brian's already done this. Like Anthony Papali, like Jari that I mentioned before, Chris Robinson. Um, think who else. Kind of like the OGs for me, or the people that I hang with the most, like Jimmy Moynihan, of course, and Rudy, and some of those guys. Those kind of like the usual suspects.
Yeah, excellent lineup there. And I'll reach out to all of them as soon as I can and interview them right after the fest. And speaking of, I know I got to throw in this extra question, but where can they see you perform next?
So, I will be at Ask a Friend October 4th. That's October 4th. That's a Wednesday next week. That's in Melbourne. That's kind of like an interactive show where people will write down questions and then they try to like come up with funny stuff, of course, and like helping with their questions that they got. Me, Selena, I think Selena last time I'm doing this, but Selena and Matt Glennon are going to be on that show. I'll be posting a link. My Instagram is JU the comedian, so I'll be posting a link for the tickets for that one. And then as of right now, something will probably come up in between, but I'll be hosting Madcap's open mic on November 1st. Well, let me not skip your show, of course. I'm going to be at Sareth Fest next Thursday on October 5th. And then I'll be hosting Madcaps November 1st. And then I don't have anything solid booked until Madcaps December 1st and 2nd. And I'm actually headlining. So I'll be doing 15 minutes at Madcaps. So that'll be cool. If you're not doing anything, you can come out,
Hell yeah, dude. You got to remind me and everything, so I'll come support you. And I'm glad they're starting an open mic in Palm Coast because that's where I live.
I heard.
And I don't have to drive as far. I can hit them up and then the Nog. Because I used to go all the way to New Smyrna, and now I'm like, finally, I can do some time here.
Yeah, I heard they start on the same day, too.
Yeah. Much needed because, man, my town doesn't have a mic, and I'm just so used to driving an hour to do 5 minutes. Like, for the past 10 years, I'm like, I'm over it. But I'll go to the Nog any day of the week, but I'm glad there's something close to home. And shout out to Adam and Madcaps for doing that for us. It's now the Jacksonville comics can come down and do some time on a comedy club stage because their mic at their comics at the Comedy Zone is not used for like the open mics, but the lobby is. But okay. I'm so glad that he's doing this for us. It's rad.
Yeah, I love it. They're really supportive, so that's why I'm like, yeah. Wednesday Madcaps gonna be like my locked in spot for real.
Hell yeah, dude. Same here. Awesome, my man. Thanks so much for being my guest. And any last words you'd like to give out to the audience at home?
Chat GPT is great. I highly recommend it.
Indeed, for sure. I didn't mean to my battery on my phone, my camera or my computer is crashing, but I gotta plug it in. But that's a sign from the Lord. Awesome, bud. Well, I will see you at the fest. It's going to be like a horror movie now. Look at that org. But yeah, I'll see you at the fest. Can't wait to see you. Your name's on the back of the shirts, the lanyards, the posters.
Oh shoot!
We went all out this year, man. We do it every year.
Man, I feel like I should have kept my Friday off. I feel like that's about to be a party, man. God damn.
It's be a party.
I might have to figure something out.
Indeed, find someone to swap with you, or work remote while you're at a hotel the same night. So awesome, dude. Good stuff. Can't wait to see you, and we'll see you at the Nog on next Thursday.
Okay, I'll see you.
See you later. Be well and take care. We'll see you at the fest from Wednesday through Saturday, so it's gonna be a whole lot of fun.
All right, cool.